John Ulzheimer is known as one of our nation's most recognized credit experts. Having worked for 28 years in the credit industry, John has become one of the most prolific speakers about credit and the go-to authority on answers to credit-related questions. Credit Countdown with John Ulzheimer.
Hello, this is John Ulzheimer. I am a consumer credit expert. I have almost 30 years of experience in the credit industry. I've spent time at FICO, which is the company behind the FICO credit scoring system, and Equifax, which is one of the three generally recognized credit reporting agencies in the US. So today I'm going to talk about an interesting credit, it's not really a credit repair strategy. We'll think of a name for it in the next few minutes. I kind of have an idea, but I want to discuss it before I throw a name or a title on it. So it's not uncommon when you apply for credit that the lender is going to pull one of your credit reports or credit scores. We all know that that happens. Most large lenders, and even mid-sized lenders and even small lenders, have relationships with more than one of the credit reporting agencies. So the point is that if they try to pull, for example, your Equifax report but can't get it, then they're going to pull one of your other credit reports, perhaps a TransUnion report, perhaps an Experian report. So they have kind of this list, this priority list or hierarchy of credit bureau option number 1, then credit bureau option number 2, then credit bureau option number 3. So if you are kind of really plugged into your credit report quality and your credit scores, then you probably have an idea of which of your 3 credit reports is the best of the 3. Some people, look, if you've got fantastic credit, then all 3 of your credit reports are going to be great. All 3 of your credit reports are going to yield great credit scores across the board. So there really is no need to kind of employ any kind of unusual strategy to help or to see if you can set up your applications whereby the lender is only going to see, for example, your highest for your highest credit score. However, if you do not have 3 great credit reports, then you probably know which one of the 3 is going to be the best of the 3. And so here's the strategy that may work for you. When you place what's called a credit freeze on your credit report, that's called a security freeze or a credit freeze, you are basically not allowing a lender to pull that report until you give them permission, meaning that you would have to unfreeze or thaw or temporarily lift the security freeze on that particular credit report before any lender would be able to access it. Well, if you have 3 credit reports, one with that commonly yields your highest credit score. For example, let's say you have one credit report that you're constantly scoring in the mid 700s. But then you have another credit report where you're constantly scoring around 700. And if you have one kind of stubborn credit report that may have information on it that it doesn't speak glowingly of you, then that may yield your lowest of your 3 credit scores. So clearly what you're going to want to do is you would love it if the lender would pull the credit report that has the highest score and not pull the credit report that has the lowest score. Normally, you don't control that process because when you think about the last time you went and applied for a loan or a credit card, was there anywhere on the application that indicated, hey, we're going to pull your Equifax credit report, or hey, we're going to pull your TransUnion credit report? No. There's nowhere in the process where you were informed ahead of time which of your 3 credit reports was going to be pulled. So you really have no control over the process in the normal garden variety scenario. So here's where the security freeze comes into play. And I've heard people employ this strategy with varying levels of success. This isn't a John Ulzheimer original. I'm just kind of regurgitating the strategy from experiences working with or talking with other consumers. In the scenario that I just gave you, where your Equifax report usually yields your highest score, what the consumer would generally do is they would not place a security freeze on that particular report. However, they would place a security freeze on their other 2 reports. And so what this would do is it would effectively act almost as like a roadblock. And if a lender tried to pull that report, they wouldn't be able to. If they tried to pull another credit report that had the lower of the 3 scores, they wouldn't be able to because of the security freeze being in place. And hypothetically, the lender would then kind of toggle to the next available option, which in this example would be your Equifax report, which would yield your highest score, and then hopefully you would get the best deal that the lender has possible. So in what I just described to you is kind of like the nirvana of that strategy, and there's no guarantee that that's going to work. You may run into a scenario where the lender is like, we want this report, not the one you want us to have. And if they're unable to pull that report because of the security freeze, then they're going to deny your application. And then you're going to get an adverse action notice. It's going to be essentially a wasted credit inquiry, and then you have to start over from scratch again. So it's an interesting strategy. I don't know what to call it. Call it the roadblock strategy if you'd like to. And there's certainly a scenario where it would work, but everything would have to happen perfectly. And there's certainly a scenario where it would not work, whereby the lender decides, I only want this report for this particular type of consumer who lives in this area of the country and is applying for this type of credit. So anyway, just keep that in mind, maybe put it on your inventory of strategies and see if it works in the future. And I'd love to hear if it does or doesn't in the comment section below. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk again soon. Have a great rest of your day.
For more videos and credit tips from John Ulzheimer, go to www.tradelinesupply.com.